Hello, dear friends. Baba Bhaskar is here with you once again. Back with another set of inspiring shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita. Shlokas that are destined to change the inner you, the real you, and also to help you find perspectives that are meaningful and life-changing. Your trust and faith in me has indeed been overwhelming. They give me the strength and the motivation to continue with you on your exciting spiritual journey towards self-realization and self-fulfillment. And so, let us dive straight away into the ninth of the inspiring shlokas. This is Shloka 37 from chapter 3. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kam esh krodh esh Rajoguna samudbhavah Mahashano Mahapapama Vidhe Namiha Varinam. Lord Krishna says to Arjun, it is desire, it is anger, born of the guna of Rajas. These are great devourers, they drive us to harm and injury. Know these to be our enemies. What Lord Krishna is doing here is to identify for us those emotions which are negative, harmful, destructive, and dangerous. The lesson he is conveying is this: identify these emotions as our foes. Beware of them at all times, and when they come upon us, control and suppress them so that they cause as little damage as possible. And what are these emotions? What are their roots? The primary damaging and hazardous emotion is desire, and the secondary destructive emotion born from desire is anger or wrath. Please recall our discussion on the gunas or human traits that I had described in my second video. Desire and anger are manifestations of the second guna, which is called Rajas. Lord Krishna is pointing out that desire and anger are born out of the Rajas guna and are intensely harmful if we are unable to keep them in check. He is saying that desire, or kam in Sanskrit, is a common and basic human characteristic. Yet, desire stems from attachment or attraction, and if it is unbridled and unchecked, it can overpower the human mind. In such form, when it is unsatisfied or unfulfilled, it breeds frustration, and from frustration stems anger. Anger is a dangerous and destructive force. If allowed to fester and overflow, it is that violent force which inflicts pain and harm. It is that flaring up of the mind that seeks revenge. It blinds us to reality and impels us to such actions which often cause irreparable damage and lead to serious regret. Anger and desire are both tyrannical and merciless qualities. In this shloka, Lord Krishna calls them Mahashana, or insatiable demons. The more they get, the more their appetite increases. And now, friends, let us turn to our next inspirational shloka, which is the 10th in the series. This is verse 38 from chapter 3. Ghumena vriyate vahinar yatha darsho malena cha yathol bena vrito garbhas tatha tene dama vritam. Just as fire is shrouded in smoke, a mirror is covered by dust, and a fetus is enclosed in the womb, so also are wisdom and judgment concealed by desire and anger. In this shloka, Lord Krishna takes recourse to similes to drive home the point that desire and anger are often subliminal. They lie concealed beneath the surface, but emerge in virulent form when provocation occurs. The individual, enveloped by the smoke of desire, cannot see any object clearly. His vision is clouded, and he is robbed of his better judgment. When the dust of desire covers the mirror of the intellect, it obliterates the truth. Desire is that fearful mental grime which covers the discriminatory powers of the individual. Then, whatever one sees is unclear. The entire psyche is ensnared by desire. Extreme likes and dislikes are inherent in desire. Where unsatiated desire abides, there jealousy, bitterness, and enmity will coexist. In their extreme form, desire and anger are acids that corrode the living soul. Truth and untruth, right and wrong, duty and compassion, all are forgotten. The Rajoguna of the individual continues to increase as desire surges. If the fiend of desire is not controlled, it can lead to complete destruction. Then, Lord Krishna, having cautioned us of the adverse impacts of desire and anger, tells us how these demons can be controlled because of the superiority of the intellect and the ultimate superiority of the Atma. This he elaborates in our next inspirational shloka, Shloka 42, Chapter 3. This is the 11th in our series of selected shlokas. Indriyani pranyahu indri yebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhi yo buddhe paratastu saha. The senses are powerful, but superior to the senses is the mind. Superior to the mind is the intellect, but far superior than even the intellect is the soul or Atma. Having underscored the dangers of succumbing to unsatiated desire and the demonic anger that it can generate, the Lord tells us where the remedy lies. He tells us how we can use the mind, the intellect, and finally the Atma to usher in self-control and overcome the urges that incite desire and anger. He explains that there is a four-tiered order that exists within ourselves. At the bottom is the body, limited and basic. Above that, and at the first level, are the senses. When compared with the physical body, the senses are certainly superior, as they are more subtle, internal, and have a wider range of activity. Superior to the senses, and at the second level, is the mind. Since the senses cannot do anything independently without the help of the mind, if the mind does not support them, the senses become powerless. The third level is the intellect, which is superior to the mind because it is endowed with the faculty of discrimination. When the mind is in a state of doubt, the intellect comes to its rescue. The intellect has the capacity to influence and guide the mind, to allow it to differentiate between right and wrong, and to mentor it away from the pitfalls of desire and anger. Finally, at the fourth and highest level is the Atma, or our deepest inner self, which many call our conscience. It is the ultimate influencer of our actions. When the senses fail, the mind despairs, and even the intellect is found wanting, our Atma, or inner consciousness, can come to our rescue. Bow, therefore, advises Lord Krishna, to that ultimate power or force within us, which can guide us away from falling prey to the twin demons of desire and anger. And with these words, dear friends, we come to the conclusion of this episode of the 20 most inspirational shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita. I, Baba Bhaskar, leave you, my dear followers, but only till the time that I am back with my new video and a new set of inspiring shlokas. Till then, stay safe, stay secure, and stay spiritual. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, please share, please subscribe, and don't forget to turn on post notifications.